Hi everybody, Neon here of course. I am with my hiking buddy
KJ,
and he is about to start his hike to Maine, and I'm just going to join him for the first 6 days. We're going to start here at Amicalola Falls and hike the approach trail up to the lodge tonight. Tomorrow morning we'll take the AT for a ways, but we're going to get on the Benton MacKaye Trail and hike about another 60 or 70 miles to where my car is parked in the middle of nowhere. Amicalola Falls. Good morning. Had a good night's sleep in the lodge and ate too much food at the all-you-can-eat buffet for dinner and breakfast. I headed over to the trail. Should be about 14 miles today if we are successful. So this is what you see when you're on top of Springer Mountain. Coming off of Springer, less than a mile, we find home for the next few days. Benton MacKaye Trail. White diamond blazes. The Appalachian Trail was inspired by Benton MacKaye. I was just thinking that there's not very many views on the BMT. Check this out. Oh, it's a pretty good view. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, this way. There's the creek. There's my tent. And there's my mashed potatoes. Good morning. It's about 6:30 on day 2. And I really don't want to get out of my tent. I think this is probably the most comfortable place around for miles and miles. I've got my tent down and I'm cooking some breakfast over here. I've got my little alcohol stove going. Gonna have some oatmeal. Also filtering some water. Pack up my snacks and get out of here. Well, there's an intersection here. I see the BMT over there, but this sign right here says Long Creek Falls. And I'm ahead of KJ, so I think I'm gonna go visit Long Creek Falls. I had a little mix-up last night. I went past the Three Forks campsite looking for a place that had a little more privacy, and I wasn't able to tell KJ that, and he stopped at Three Forks, and so I wandered over there after dinner to make sure he was good, and he was relieved to see that I was still alive. It's always a good thing. Engineering. Hiking along this little creek. Bigger engineering. This one's crossing the creek that makes that waterfall down there. Hog's been rooting around here. Sounds like there's a storm coming. Yep. It's starting to rain. Got some little doohickeys that Shoelace gave me to make it hands-free. I'd say it's got a name. Hello. What is the weather forecast for today?
For today, rain.
Yeah. And tonight?
Less rain.
And tomorrow?
Less rain.
And then?
And then rain, rain, and rain, and then cold.
Oh boy. Are you coming? Engineering. Congratulations. Think a storm is here? We got the tent set up. We are, oh gosh, 50 yards from a road. This was the best spot for several miles up the trail, so this is where we're gonna sleep tonight. I don't know if you can see the road right over there. Here's where the Duncan Ridge Trail separates from the Benton MacKaye Trail. And I don't think I want to go that way. Dyer Gap is aptly named. Hopefully the spring has sprung because I'm dry. Looking for a wet spot. Well, that will do. Why are you smiling?
Because it's better than being in the city.
Yeah. It's raining pretty hard and it's very windy. It's going to be a long night. It's about 8:30 and I'm finally hitting the trail.
You got rained on 3 times. This is day 4.
Got about 6 miles into a town where we're going to get some resupply. It rained all night long. Wind was blowing inside of my tent. Got pretty wet. And
Yes, it's a road walk. It's not a trail walk.
well, thank you. Sign the book. That probably is the Iron Bridge Cafe where we're going to resupply. This is the kind of stuff you see on the road walk. Leaving the paved road of Fannin County, entering the gravel road of Gilmer County. Why is it that every trailhead starts with an up? A couple of dome homes and more platforms and more platforms and more platforms. Well, even though it's only about 3:30, we are going to make this our spot for the night. Oh, do you think I can sleep in it like that? Looks like a yard sale. I guess that's a little more like it. I guess I'll eat that.
Dinner of champions. Oh no. All right. Oh yes.
And the food is hung at 7 o'clock, which means it's time to go to bed. KJ just said it was a colorful assortment. Unfortunately, it's just the packaging that's colorful. For breakfast, I will have oatmeal with sunflower seeds and raisins and a Nutri-Grain bar and some coffee. And shortly thereafter, for second breakfast, I'll have a big Texas cinnamon roll. Lunch is half a bag of jerky combos, granola bar, snacks afternoon, RX bar, peanuts, those are cashews. Ramen for dinner with mixed vegetables and M&Ms. Oh, it's a beautiful day today. Sun's come out. I've been thinking about the phrase, make the best of a bad situation. For example, the other day it was pouring rain all afternoon and we had to camp on a grassy field that was exposed and the wind was blowing the rain sideways, which was a pretty bad situation because it was raining really hard. Tried to make the best of it. I pitched my tent at a right angle to the wind, so with the biggest stakes I had on the windward side so my tent wouldn't blow away. When I got in the tent, rain was blowing in through the screen mesh around the bottom of it. So I took my compactor bag that I use as a stuff sack and had my extra gear in there, and I pressed that up against the screen mesh on the windward side to keep the rain from blowing directly in right there, and took my umbrella and put it up out in the vestibule again to block some of that rain coming in. It was still raining hard and it was misting through the wall of the tent and everything was getting wet. But it would have been worse if I hadn't done that. And so I did everything I could to make the best of the situation. Even though it didn't make the situation good, it made it better. And if I hadn't done any of that, the situation would have got a whole lot worse. Tent could have blown down on me, or if I hadn't thought about putting my plastic bag against the mesh where the rain was coming in, would have gotten even wetter. Oh yeah, I guess making the best of a bad situation doesn't necessarily make it good. Sometimes it prevents it from getting worse. You know, back in real life, I find myself in similar situations where things are kind of going south and nothing I can do to make it good. But if I do nothing, they generally get worse. So if I can just try to make the best of it, then I can go about my day with a easy conscience because I know I've done everything I could to make the best of the bad situation.
There it goes.
Yep. Guess we're up there. Okay. First iris of the season. Well, that is the worst blowdown we've seen so far. I have to go around this blowdown. And some crocus. Today must be the first day of spring.
You can go that way. I'm going over here.
Good idea. It's a good thing we're getting off here because there's bears for 10 miles up there. Ain't no hikers going 25. Guess we're hiking through Blue Ridge, huh?
Welcome to Granny Lake.
There's a shelter. Well, we got here about 2:30. And this is where we're going to stay for the afternoon and the evening. We have some neighbors. Doesn't that look cozy? So tell the world, what are you having for dinner tonight?
Dr. McDougall's pea soup with boar's head pre-cooked bacon.
And the verdict is?
The verdict is it's pretty good, and it's nice and hot on a cool evening.
Good morning. It is about 6:30 and I am off to dig myself a cat hole and retrieve some food out of the tree. Yeah, so 8 o'clock. Today's the big decision day. It's about 13 miles to our designated campsite and 17 and a half to the car, which is a little bit far. But the reason that's relevant is it's supposed to get stormy tonight with a wind and cold, and temperatures drop down to the teens by morning, tomorrow morning, with snow falling out of the sky. And that's down here at the 1,000 feet. Up at 3,000 feet, it's probably going to start snowing and getting colder a little earlier. So we will see what we feel like at the campsite. Hanging on this tree is a red chip. It says, no more suffering, 90 days. HA. What is HA? I thought it might be Hikers Anonymous, but KJ says you'd still be suffering after 90 days. There's a break in the clouds over there.
Cheers.
Look at that tree. It's got all kinds of weird bumps on it. This one closest to us looks like a loop-de-loop, doesn't it?
It does.
And then there is a coyote. Interesting old spruce. It's green on the bottom and then dead in the middle, and then way up there it's green again. That's an old tree. That one's orange. There's a different kind of orange over here. That is one big tree. That is an old piece of wood. We are getting close to the end. It's been a beautiful afternoon for hiking. It's really hard to believe that in just about 6 hours, it's going to be in the teens and snowing. Needless to say, we pushed on to the car today. Well, that ends the adventure, at least for me. I'm going to get off the trail here, but KJ is just getting started.
I am going to finish the BMT and join the AT at the north end of the Smokies and see how far toward Maine I get over the next 6 months. So happy trails.
Bye. See you next time.